That's the name of the point for this Friday, October 10th, 1986. Good evening, my young Peter Wiggins. Today is what's happening. Bank of America's chief executive Samuel Armacost will resign this weekend in trouble paying holding company and said industry sources said Mr. Armacost's departure was forced during his 5.5 years at the helm. Bank of America's was surpassed to size by today corporate posted huge losses. Mr. Armacost's successor is expected to be A.W. Clausen, who has preceded him at the companies before leaving for the World Bank. Mr. Armacost's tenure began to unravel in the middle of last month, sources said. Mr. Armacost was once seen as a bright young banker who was leading the industry into the era and the new era of deregulation. Mr. Clausen spent his entire career at the bank, including 11 years at the top. Intel reported in its largest quarterly loss ever said was withdrawn from the bubble memory business and of a big chip maker. Event Micro Devices also had a loss that was considerably larger than the last year's both companies that took charges against the earnings in the quarter as they try to position themselves for the long-delayed revival in the semiconductor industry. Austrian companies Forties blew it when they allowed the last part of the shipment of computer equipment to disappear mysteriously from a Vienna warehouse, the U.S. ambassador to Austria said. The Austrians said that it was a lack of communication. The U.S. authorities believe that the shipment represents one of the largest and most damaging technology diversions in the Eastern Bloc. Lucky Stores and its directors identified as a repurchase of 11.3 million of its 52 million shares for about 450 million. The announcement was one day.
And delivered their family.
Came out to Lucky when the investor Asher B. Edelman wants to acquire announced a restructure that had included the closing of its Genco store chain. Allied Stores has obtained a restraining order in federal court altered for 10 days for the offer of stock made by Kippo. Kippo has offered a $66 a share. Wages on manufacturers' Hanover debt made reduced by Melodies, which started intensifying asset quality problems. Producer prices rose 0.4% in September with sharp rises for a gasoline factor. The Labor Department said overall production prices have fallen and an annual rate of 4% so far this year. Reflected price drops out of 5 of 9 months. The economist said that increases for the rest of the 1986 should remain moderate. The federal left gold step first kept it about pledged by Table Bank of Japan to inject $500 billion of its capital to the investment banking firm of Goldman Sachs in return for 12.5% non-voted ownership. The dollar resumed its fight against other currencies after a German official said that the recent European interventions were aimed at softening the dollar's decline, not reversing it. Cash gold bullion prices closing in New York at $41 an ounce, up $1.50. Cattle future prices closed out of this week at a strong note. The stock prices slip and trade in volume shrank as investors appeared indifferent. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 3.65 points to 1,793.17 for its second consecutive loss. For the week, however, blue chip average rose about 18.99 points. Bond prices eased by Fed trade in the reaction to the producer price increased by later today. Prices of the government fell, however, 7.25%. 30-year bond were down by a bit more than a half the point to 95, 160 to yield 7.66%. OPEC ministers discussed formulas for allocating new quarters but took no action this heightened the likelihood that OPEC might simply extend the temporary program limited production. An income tax audit may need to not be dramatic. It could be a relatively brief discussion of certain question items and also an extensive appeals process. A nuclear reactor was patented by Westinghouse. The reactor, which were reportedly can be made at a reduced cost, that is include a centrifugal pressure vessel with nozzles per passage and included with a way of fuel assemblies.
In California, and we said
that's going to be an announcement for this Friday, October 10th, 1986. Good night. See you tomorrow. Good night.